This is NDTV, and you're watching Classics.
Hello and welcome to Walk the Talk. I am Shekhar Gupta, and let me tell you one thing. You want to feel good for a long time? Chat with a champion. And why just a champion? A world champion. And even better when he's as young as my guest today, Pankaj Advani, at 21, world billiards champion, world snooker champion at 18 or 17, short of 18. How wonderful to have you on Walk the Talk.
Thank you very much.
And how wonderful to have a world ranking, world champion Indian sports person who's not a cricketer.
Well, yeah, it is an honor to have achieved at a young age, and I'm really happy that the Khel Ratna award was just given to me by the President of India.
Yeah, and in fact, I wanted to tell you, I was just checking. You are the youngest, if I can say so, male guest on Walk the Talk. Sania Mirza beat you to it, but you won't grudge her that.
I'm sure not. I think she deserves the recognition that she's got. She's achieved a great deal herself.
But tell me a bit more about yourself and your game. You know, we are a country of 100 crore cricket experts, right? We've begun to talk a little bit about football like that now, but almost nobody except your small community knows about your game.
Well, we've been doing well in billiards and snooker over the last few years, and as a result, we've achieved a lot of world titles and gold medals. You know, for the benefit of those who want to know more about the game, you have snooker, which is played with 22 balls.
Right.
You know, the white is like a striker in carom.
Right.
And you've got the reds. So the main object of the game is to pocket, as they call it, pot in one. You know, basically the object ball goes inside the pocket with the help of the white.
Right.
So the main object is to pot one red followed by a color that is either the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink, or black.
I see.
And you know, the more points you score, the better your game becomes, and whoever scores more points in one frame, this is called a frame, wins the game. So that is snooker, and billiards is played with 3 balls, in which, you know, we've had breaks of 800 to 1000 made by Michael Ferreira and Geet Sethi.
Yes, I remember. You know, I remember from my school and college days when there was so little good news on sports pages for India. The only thing you looked for was either a Krishnan or Vijay Amritraj victory in third or fourth round, and then a glorious defeat in the semi-finals, or a Michael Ferreira, Wilson Jones big break. And one never quite figured what is 800, what is 900. What's the break of 800, 1000 in billiards?
Well, you know, billiards is played with a slightly different technique where you have just 3 balls, the white, yellow, and the red.
Right.
And you've got probably three shots that can be played in billiards. One is the in-off, where your own object ball goes in.
In-off?
Yeah, in-off, because it goes in first,
right,
and then it comes back to the table and you use the striker again. Right. The second is the pot, which is obviously a feature of snooker as well. And third, you've got the cannon, in which your striker hits, you know, your opponent's ball, which is the yellow, and the red as well. So these are the 3 features of billiards, and we get just 2 or 3 points per shot. So to make a break of around 800, 1000 would mean you'll have to play at least 250 to 300 shots.
I see.
And in a row,
and
you know,
that
in a
requires
sequence.
what? Concentration, focus?
Oh, that requires tremendous concentration and focus, because for the first things, I mean, first of all, you've got to start off a break, and to start off, you've got to play one good shot, because most of the times you don't get good positions. And you know, if you do get a good position, then you've got to keep continuing playing in the same position and keep focused to get a break of 800 to 1000.
Right. So you are a big break player, particularly in snooker, isn't it?
Well, yeah, in snooker, the maximum you can get is 147, but a century is like a big thing in snooker.
But tell me, for the idiot, define snooker, billiards, and pool.
In a nutshell, I would say billiards is a game of flow and patience. Snooker is a game of precision and accuracy. And pool is a game which the Americans love. So basically a game that produces quick results.
Right. Why? I mean, why is it pool like the 2020
of cricket? Yes.
Yeah.
I think pool could be called the 2020 of cricket because it's played on a smaller table with bigger pockets.
2020
of Q Sports.
Yeah.
Sorry. So pool is a game where you just have to pocket, you know, 8 or 9 balls in a sequence and the game is over.
I see.
And then you start the next frame.
Right.
So it becomes very quick.
By which time you've lost some money or won some.
Absolutely. And, yeah. Absolutely.
But your game itself has money now, isn't it? particularly at the professional level, snooker.
Absolutely, and it's lucrative for a player to play in the English circuit. However, there are a few difficulties like adjusting to the conditions, and you have to live in England for 8 to 10 months in a year. So it does not become very easy, particularly for the Asians.
Right. Why for the Asians?
Yeah, because the Asians have to travel, and then you go and play a knockout match, and if you lose, you come back, and
see.
the travel becomes a bit hectic, and then you've got 8 tournaments in a year over there in England.
Right.
So things are not very easy at the moment, but we do hope that the circuit goes global, as a result of which I think
But
more
I've been talking to
participation
some of
will
the
be there.
veterans in your game who say one problem, they don't say problem, this is one challenge Pankaj has, is that if he has to now move into the professional game because he's done so well so young, he must go professional. But for that he has to live overseas. And I don't know, maybe they're old-fashioned. They say your vegetarianism might be a problem.
I don't think so. I think I'm vegetarian by choice. But when you have to perform at the professional circuit, you've got to take into account many factors.
Right.
And as of now, I'm probably not ready for it because you have to stay there for a long time. Although I'm doing pretty well in billiards now because I intend to play professional billiards definitely for the next 5 years.
Because I remember one more of your Bangalore compatriots, Prakash Padukone, went to train overseas, and he I believe accepted some changes to his vegetarianism, some compromises. Also for the game of badminton, because you need a bit more muscle and stamina.
Absolutely. At least in our game, you don't need that muscle and stamina. But I think I've been managing with my vegetarianism so far. So that should not be a problem. But having said that, I feel it's not easy to play a game like this, especially when I'm concentrating on both billiards and snooker. It's very mentally taxing. Right. So I would like to just play both games as of now.
When you travel on flights, when you run into people here and there, do people ask you, "What's your game? What is all this jargon? Pot? Something's called."
Yeah, they do ask me once in a while, what is a pot? I know.
Yeah.
They do ask me, what is a pot, and how do you play the game of billiards compared to snooker?
Right.
So it is, interesting as well if one comes to know about the rules of the game. But until then, you really don't know what's happening on the table.
Tell us what's a pot.
Well, basically a pot is when you pocket a ball, and as I said, this is like the white ball is the striker ball.
Right.
And and this becomes your object.
Right.
So basically, once you pot a ball, it means that with the help of this white ball, you make sure that the object ball goes in the pocket.
Right.
So that's what a pot is all about.
Right. It's something that will work very well in office politics. You want to fix one guy, you hit the other.
Absolutely.
Right. But how does someone as young as you take to a game as sort of slow and gentle? I think most youngsters today would want to get into either a ball sport, a contact sport, big money paying sport. How do you get into sports so early in life?
I really never planned a career in this game. It so happened that I was playing with my elder brother, and I thought, why not participate in a state competition? So it's a step-by-step process, and basically when you love a game, you want to do the maximum you can in it.
Because your coach Arvind Savur says when he first saw you, you were 10. I think your brother brought you to the table, and you couldn't even reach the table. And seemed to show some...
I know, it was a bit disappointing
aptitude.
Because Mr. Arvind Savur has been the best coach in India, and to be trained by him is really an honor in itself. And I'm sure without him, I wouldn't have reached such a high level in the game. So when I gained in height a couple of inches more, I became 5 feet 1 inches. That's when he accepted me as his student and
how
started
high
off.
is this table?
Well, this would be around 30 inches from the ground. So at that time, I was just 4.5 feet, basically.
Right.
So it's been difficult, from then, and because your height keeps increasing and your technique changes over a period of time. So it's not as simple as it looks, because when we play, probably sometimes it looks very easy, but there are a lot of technical aspects.
But your coach Arvind Savur is a bit of a maverick himself, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He's a very fun-loving person.
Tell me a few things about him.
He's a friend, philosopher, and guide. Not only a great coach in the game, but lots of fun to hang around with. And we've had some good times together. We're just like family. So
is he tough with you sometimes?
Sometimes he is tough, and I accept that because he knows what he's doing the best. Probably more than any other coach would know, or more than anyone else would know in the game. So I accept everything that he says.
where does your aggression come from? Does it come from him? I believe you're very, I mean, I'll ask you a little bit later on what aggression means in a Q game. You can't hit the other guy, you can't hit the ball too hard, right? But does it come from him?
Yes.
Or is it natural?
To a certain extent, it comes from the person who's coached you, who's trained you, because you try and imbibe all the qualities from him. But the inborn aggression is there already, and you're just raring to go before a match or before an event.